umaga. Kaya feeling ko gising na siya ngayon. At from the panelist naman, si Sir Bome ang mauna. So, yeah, ang gawin natin is mauna lang yung mga fellows. Tapos, tuloy-tuloy na lang yun. Tapos, ilang mics ba? Iraman na lang po ng mics, no? Yun. At, nandito na nga pala si Sir Grip. Si Sir Grip po ay isa rin po sa mga panelists natin. So, welcome po, Sir Grip. Yan. Sino po nanalo kanina umaga? Ayan, anyway. So, sige. Pinubli na kanina ng Mindanao, EJ, no? And Miguel will start the discussion. No. Wala. Yes, hello. Ay, work ka. So, paano ba yung process? Ako mo muna o si Miguel? Ay. Ay, so muna nga yun.
Kasi nabasa mo naman nila lahat. So, wag mo na mag-replay yung kwento. Just, ano yung, ano yung muna mong reaction? Anong dating sa'yo? Tapos, what do you think of the prospects of it as a novel?
So if we're going to go by the discussion as to what I first noticed about the narrative, there is, the first thing I noticed is there's a lot of information overload going on, because especially in the first chapters, the reader is treated to a dialogue between the protagonist and someone she met on the plane, Popoy, and then from what I noticed and my observation of it is that Popoy is treated as a mouthpiece, represented what is probably the overarching thematic conflict of the whole novel. And although it can be which is like we have the conflict between conservative religion and innovation. He also touches upon spirituality, identity, and family as an institution, and even like Philippine mythological creatures adapting to the new world. So like in the span of that entire dialogue, those themes are touched upon. They're introduced. Yeah. And although it can be justified that the protagonist is encouraging this behavior so that she can gather qualitative data, and I quote that because that's literally what she said as a narrator. As a plot point, the conversation sounded too heavy because the story started with pacing, but the protagonist describing the airplane and the implants and the artificial intelligence. But then Pathways rant becomes too on the nose.
Sabi ni Miguel, it's mouthpiece lang yung, yung character para mag-discuss nito mga issues. Anong anong pinaka-issue niya talaga? Kasi maraming sinasabi. Is there an overarching or...
Yes, I can't tell what is the what would be. I think I was pretty out of voice. I think that when it was from the piece, from what I have from the first chapter. Though what I would like to say is that I really do. It comes to what you said. I do like the information I was provided from. Feels like it. What was trying to do was trying to set you up into the world. Because it is a different world. It's familiar enough for us as Philippines itself, but there are a lot of changes like 100 years in the future that it chose to set stuff in. Thinking ko, I felt like in the beginning, it did successfully lead me, introducing me to the elements of virtual reality, of AI that exists in this world, and technology and the impact of technology. So that did lead me enough, and did not. I felt young that it maybe over-explained itself in some folks. Some stuff that we do already understand, even with our current level of technology, did not need to be stated. Now, could be held back, could be a little explaining those stuff. Kasi if we over-explain, minsan, yung ano mo na kausap, parang ina-explain pa sa tao hindi nakakaintindi. I think assume higher intelligence or higher understanding from our readers. Pero I do think the unnamed protagonist it's an interesting frame for research into a story, into the series, coming up with more to look into the world. Pero my fear is that maybe hindi tayo lumalim more than the frame.
Like it's not widely on the
Yeah, yeah. We are. That it is the frame for the frame as good as that. Assume she's going in there and trying to get certain information as she can. So my fear is that maybe from what I gather, that we don't go deeper than we could have.
What are you looking for?
Because it's an interesting world. It's the Philippines in 100 years in the future. Interesting changes in culture and in society and structure, and there are really some interesting stuff from new any of the areas and stuff like that. There are already a lot of interesting stuff, and I wish conflict could arise from that more than from the strain, from the reasoning and the analysis. Observer yan tayo again in this world, other than actively participating.
Mantin ko natin mga posibleng siyempre ako natuwa ako dito sa istorya nito dahil medyo hindi ko sa genre nito na science fiction. No? Pero parang ina-allude ko na ito na parang may science fiction angle no? Sa simula. Kaya parang may mga expectation yung reader no? Kapag ganun yung kanyang mga parang walang introduction. Kaya, pinabati ko yung mga plano doon sa ganun pag-isikap. Lalo na sa sci-fi sa wikang Pilipino. Tapos ito may halo pa siyempre na Cebuano. No? Interesting yung ganitong project. Hindi sa tanong na gusto kong i-raise daw ng proyekto ay talaga bang integral yung science fiction theme doon sa kasi binasa naman natin yung mismong making bahagi pati yung kabuuan. Yung balangkas nung nobela. Isip ko, talaga bang kailangan pa isipin integral ba talaga yung sci-fi approach doon sa story? Halimbawa, tanggalin natin lahat ng mga sci-fi, lagyan natin sa kasalukuyang panahon. Pwede ba ma-operate ang nobela na ito? Kaya sa tingin ninyo.
Yeah, on that question, I think actually parang pwede siyang exist in our world, and that might be a problem with the sci-fi. Kasi kung hindi siya integral element in it, baka pagagete ang dating ng sci-fi kasi what we want with the genre that is sci-fi if we're to be essential in the story. And for right now, yung elements of fantasy in it, I think might be essential. The elements of sci-fi, not quite so true.
Ay, fantastic yan. Lalo kung yung kabuuan din natin tignan, yung merong mga tumukuha ng mga hay, no, tapos yung mga tabuhan ng mga isda, no, mga kaling yan. Yeah, that's the fantasy element. I mean, that's very central. I mean, kung tanggalin mo yan, mawawala yung kanyang thematic episode, di ba? Yung usapin din ng magbabago sa pag-iisip ng main character. I think yung siguro isang aspect ng sci-fi dito na hindi mo ma-disengage na may prospect na pwedeng maging integral na yung geniality, no? Kumbaga yung pagtangal mga asexuality, no? Supposed asexuality ng ating main character. Kaya nung sa balangkas ng nobela, ipapakita yung kung paano ay may crisis, ano? Kumbaga yung geniality at kanya-kanyang personal feelings, ano? Mga isang klaseng contradiction. At siguro yun lang parang sa kabuuan, pwede iset sa kasalukuyang panahon. Pero yung kanyang fantasy aspect ay napaka-integral at kailangan na sa nobela. Kaya isip ko, isang problema ba ito dito sa ganitong proyekto na parang disposable element ng maraming sci-fi dito?
So, ang tanong ay, kung pwede siya iset sa present, bakit hindi? Or is it still sci-fi? Or is it working as the sci-fi genre if it's disposable? Ano?
Sir, ako naman po, meron akong isang nakitang pwedeng effect ng sci-fi, ano, di ba, ang nangyari, parang worst effect siya ng kapitalismo ngayon, parang na-multiply lang siya. So, ang nangyari, di ba, meron na silang advances in healthcare, kaya kaya nang mag-afford. Sorry, medyo hindi ako talaga sci-fi person. Hanggang Hunger Games na po ako. Social sci-fi. Anyway, pero parang ganun po yung intindi ko na yung iba, afford na nila, for example, yung mga medical advances. Pero ngayon, dahil sa poverty in Mindanao na nahuhuli siya, hindi siya umaabot dun sa advances ng New Manila. What happens is, nagre-resort po yung mga citizens dun sa area na yan to things like yung pagka-harvest nga ng organ. So yung ginagawa ngayon, parang naiwan sila doon versus doon sa medical advantage. So sa ganong aspekto, nakita ko naman na pwede, pero siguro po baka mas ma-intensify pa po siya. Because I agree nga na parang maganda naman siya yung pinapakita mo na yung divide between rich and poor, meron talaga naiiwan. I think maganda siyang nare-reflect niya kung ano yung nangyayari ngayon, pero baka pwede lang pong mas intense. Ako naman, pwede pong dagdagan ko aside from that point. Ako, I find very interesting how the writer parang used an alternative to the omniscient na POV. Parang, kasi diba, it's written in first person, pero ang galing parang yung mga data, ganyan. So, parang naging omniscient tuloy siya in a way. Siguro lang po, I would agree with Ernie more na some of it, na-appreciate ko kasi it builds the world. Pero siguro, baka maganda rin pong piliin when the details are more necessary and when pwede siyang tanggalin at some point. Kasi I did feel that there were some details na baka nag-distract na po. Kasi ang nangyari every time na may bago siyang binibigay niya yung background, ang nangyari kasi every little background calls attention to itself. Although of course we haven't read the entire work, baka naman mamaya may pa-plant ka pala ng something na may payoff later on. So siguro po yun lang. Tsaka sa beginning, ang madadagdag ko lang po is the way the action starts, baka po ako lang po yun, like, din po, mas mag-grab pa yung attention. Although very interesting, pero una po kasi, marami na pong information agad. So, yun lang po yung personal na opinion ko or reading from it. Thank you.
Hello. Sorry, medyo nandaya kasi ako kasi roommate ko siya. So, nakapag-debate na. So, yun. So, maglalagay na akong input. Dito na ilalagay yung mga napag-usapan namin para lang magkaroon po ng context lahat. Necessary ata po ay malaman ninyo na si EJ, yung goal niya dito is weird fiction
Yung parang wala daw category. Tama, yun, tama ba ito na Ayun. Tapos, yung goal niya, yung pinaka-goal ng story niya, is maintindihan ng readers yung difference ng the unknown in contrast with the scientific reasoning. Yun yung point nung ano niya daw, nung paglalagay niya nung sobrang opposite sides of the spectrum na mythology, local folklore, pati yung super 21116, year 2116.
Sorry. I can actually see that project na parang you're contrasting the scientific rationalism, empiricism, with like something as intangible as mythology, especially Philippine mythology, since like our texts on that are kind of incomplete as of now. Pero, and I get that especially with the use of the narrator protagonist, because like you point out that it's an interesting shift. Instead of a third person omniscience, we have a narrator who can know people in the thing of the narrator. But then that it still remains, the contention is still valid that if this is set in a contemporary context, it can still work. That kind of juxtaposition. But yung the tension that you're trying to arrive at with your science and your Philippine mythology. That's not a problem today. Because even today in our society, we're still trying to reconcile the future with how the past influences the future and how we're not supposed to be chained by the past.
No, isn't that a trope naman in a lot of sci-fi, Blade Runner, ginagamit din naman yun. Kasi it's dystopian. Well, I think we're basically Orwellian, yung ng sci-fi is dystopic. Something goes wrong, and it's because there's injustice. May mga naiwan, may naapi. So siguro ang tanong is, what would be the anyway, what do you think? Udang ng nobela, or is it anyone?
Sundan ko lang kasi kung yun pala yung intent ng author. Para sa akin, sa konteksto ng 21st century, nasolve na yan eh. Marami ng articles na nagsasabi na yung myth is science, no? So marami ng scientific studies actually nagpapatunay, no, na yung mga studies about myth na pinavalidate nila. So kung sa context na ngayon, yung i-advance mo na big idea, if the big idea, the novel, is yung tagisan pa rin, no? Unbelievable naman sa mundo ng Pilipinas, pero parang problematic para sa akin. So siguro magandang pag-isipan, no, ng author. Yung ganong, so i-problematize mo mismo yung sarili mong idea, no, an attitude tungkol sa myth and science. No? Kasi ako, tingin ko hindi na myth versus science, kundi baka pwedeng tingnan rin yung posibilidad ng interdependence, no, interconnectedness, yung fluidity, no? Yung myth and science, they influence each other at pareho silang kapakipakinabang, lalo na sa konteksto ng panahon kung saan depleted na yung natural resources, na napakadami ng superstructures na kalaban ng tao. Sa tingin ko, mas maganda yung potential na kaya yung sa tanungan kanina na kung i-delete yung the future aspect. Yung sa tingin ko, ito na yun eh, nangyayari nito ngayon, hindi kailangan iset sa near or distant future. At pwedeng hindi i-quantify, kasi may specific year talaga dito eh, no? At mahirap yun kasi paano masasabi na at that year, no? Di ba kung World War III na sa taon, di ba? So yung ganon, no? So I think pwede namang ngayon mismo, no? And then maganda yung inequality na pinakita mo kasi yun yung reality natin ngayon. No? Yung may mga nauuna and then may nahuhuli. Although pwede problematize pa rin yun kasi medyo nanggagaling pa rin sa yung Manila ay ito yung super advanced pero kung tingnan mo, the ruins na yung Manila. And then yung mas nade-develop na ngayon ay yung the countryside. Di ba? Cagayan de Oro, Mindanao is a very exciting and interesting narrative space.
I throw something as well. Well, to be quite honest, I kind of struggled with the text since it's in Tagalog. But for me, I was able to pick up. I kind of like that aspect that even in the year 2116, the issue of social disparity hasn't yet been addressed. Because you always have this thing where, well, if it's a technological utopia in the future, you know, everybody can benefit from technology, but here apparently it's still, even with advanced technology, even it's 100 years in the future, that disparity is in it. So it's saying that the root cause isn't from or cannot be addressed by technology. It goes much deeper and it's more visceral. So I mean, I guess that it's quite nice that you pointed it out. And I'm not sure if I missed something in the manuscript, but if I can ask, what happened to Old Manila? Was it this time? Is there a war? All right. I just wanted to see if I missed it. I read over. Sorry.
Pwede mong sulatan yung tanong mo para masagot namin yan.
I just after the discussion on the future, actually, after Cat's comment, it just got me thinking about if we're pushing into the future, we are sitting in 100 years into the future. I think ang utang ng Nobega ay ano bukod sa teknolohiya yung nagbago. Kasi sa ngayon, it's everything just magnified. Is that our perspective on the future? That it's going to be the same. If that's the novel's perspective on what the future will be, it's just everything, with technology and somehow went to extremes, then sure, I want to see that explored more in depth or maybe more fast. Or is it how? I think mas maganda makita kung what has changed than what is the same. Kasi what's the same is what we're going to look for if we're readers. Kasi it's spread in the Philippines. It's with familiar names, familiar things. We are going to be attached to what's the same. Pero what we would be more interested in is what's different. Society-wise, not just technology-wise.
Ano na siya, federal na.
Kaya din lang.
Yeah, I wanted to read more like bigger changes because you mentioned kanina that in the 20s the schools were war. So aside from technology and the disparity between society, like what are the big changes that are apparent? And also I'm a bit confused with UN discovering the area because the UN is several nations. It's an organization of several nations. So maybe the information should have, in the first chapter, should have also explained how that came about, the transition from being a diplomatic organization to one that they hold a different. So I think it's the over exposition on the people he meets would have also been used to explain how we got here. If he still wants to set this work in 100 years.
Okay, si Violet, namin niya mga sabi. Si Angelique mo. After Rian.
I guess on a more positive note, because I kind of looked at the work now. A good comment I have for the author is that I see so much potential in character development because while yes, the comment about this story can be set in the present is to that. Pero kasi, I think that one of the obvious main projects is that in-emphasizing yung pagka-rational ng protagonist. So that when he or she is like put up against like this mythological phenomena, like he or she sees someone eat the moon right or the sun, he sees something like that, and he loses his mind. The protagonist loses his mind. So parang, and there's this one line parang, anong ginagawa ko sa aking buhay? Ano ba talaga ang gusto ko? And that's in the first, the excerpt pa lang. So while the build-up towards that confession is really artificial, that that whole question seems to be what the character arc is gearing more towards. So if that kind of question, if the narrative just focuses on that one question, it could, I don't know, it could become like a complication or something like that. It has the potential to go in that direction.
Your 2 points. I agree with Ma'am Jen's point regarding the question of whether this can be set also in the present. Actually, kung titignan yung ibang details about the technology, some of these actually are already available now. And some are also obsolete. Like, for example, yung bionic eye, there are actually medical technologies already developing such devices, including yung, medical background, so I can comment talaga dun sa medical stuff mentioned. Stuff about the regenerative medicine and also the gene editing. Several studies have already been done and are currently also ongoing regarding these things. No? So, it would be nice to see what more could change 100 years from now. So, echoing Ernie's point. No? Regarding our character, no? First, yung impression ko kasi sa kanya, si MC, since wala siyang name, was to question why the author would choose not to give our protagonist a name, especially because the whole novel will be told in first person. So this will be the person will be, as a reader, relating to the most. So yung naisip ko about it was the possibility na baka yung intention ng author was to make this unnamed character sort of a blank character. Kumbaga, bahala na ba yung reader to put sort of personality into this person. And dun sa first part ng novel, we actually see this. She's, well, I can't actually use a certain pronoun because I don't know how she actually, but though she is a biologic female based on the outline, I don't know how she identifies gender-wise. No? But yung first part ng novel, she kind of sounds robotic. I don't know if that's an influence ng very yung technologically advanced world na pinanggalingan niya. And then later on, she goes, although hindi din niya naiintindihan, parang sumabog yung feelings sa later on, sa later parts ng novel. Parang, and then she goes questioning about her life's meaning, her life's purpose, what she's doing there. So I think that's kind of an interesting take on the main character.
Hello, actually gusto ko yung yung concept ng teleserye. Gusto ko din yung execution na sci-fi na pili niya. Kasi parang sa akin, feeling ko vision kasi ni EJ na parang ipakita kung yung future niya, parang yung vision niya na ipakita na okay, paano ba masasagasaan or madadala ng technological advancement ang isang particular country, or kung halimbawa tayo ba ay player o hindi, ano yung effects. Okay naman na-entertain mo ako mostly, kasi gusto ko yung mga blood and gore. Tapos, yun, meron lang akong hinahanap siguro. I would like to know more about yung siguro details ng mga vehicles, kasi parang napapansin ko, nasa palengke ko sila, tapos pupunta sila ng Victoria. Hindi ko alam kung nagbago na yung topography. Pero baka naman merong sasakyan na iba na. Tapos parang feeling ko lang, everything is just high-tech or more high-tech than parang halimbawa, merong existing na technology na mas high-tech na. Pero I was actually looking for something na revolutionize ko pala. Something technology na parang, okay, hindi natin naisip ko na although cliche na kasi ang source, yung parang yung source of power. Pero what if merong bagong technology na totally bago, nag-revolutionize talaga, so nag-iba yung tapos nag-agree din naman ako kay Ma'am Jean na 2116, meron point na kasi, for example, yung Back to the Future, meron silang binigay na year. Tapos nung na-reach na natin yun, wala namang flying cars, parang medyo, okay. Tapos, meron din sorry, akala nito meron Neon Genesis Evangelion, ang timeline kasi nila parang, ano ba? Pero tingnan natin na wala naman tayong mga technology at nandiyan wala tayong malalaking robots pero yun sa kanila pa biological robots. Wala, okay siya, pero kumbaga, yun nga, pwede kang, kumbaga sa game yung sinasabi nila, this game age well. Kasi parang, kahit lumipas na yung 10, 20 years, parang maglalaro mo pa rin siya agad. Kaya mayroong mga ibang games na parang, okay, ito na nalaro yun ulit. Parang baka hindi siya age well kapag na-restrict mo sa time na yun. Ewan ko, baka pwede natin, ewan ko, suggestion ko lang naman ito. Minsan, ang mga daya ko sa ganyan, hindi ko sasabihin yung year. Gagawan ko siya ng bagong era. So for example, hindi na siya Andomino. Gagawa ko ng Cosmic Era. Ganda! Ayan, Cosmic Era, parang nag-change. Diba, Cosmic Era 93. So, ibig sabihin, bumalik tayo sa zero. Pero pandaya, yun lang. Yun lang.
Amen.
Okay. But I think kaya may overwhelming impression na it doesn't have to be set in the present. Like, say, you pointed it out, no? Hindi imaginative lang yung years, no? When you think of pretty groundbreaking, non-religious stuff, you think of 1984, Handmaid's Tale, etc., Hunger Games, etc., parang yung overwhelming lesson doon ng cautionary tale ay the more things change, the more they remain the same. Parang, on one hand, the technology and all the sci-fi stuff are so different, pero at the same time, they're actually the same. So, parang may ganun namang sense dito. The more, yun nga, parang may ibang infrastructure yung inequality, pero at the same time, ganun pa rin. So, that makes it, parang ganun yung operation ng science fiction, yung estranged, and parang on one hand, you recognize something, but on the other hand, it's the strange. It's rendered strange. So, pero for here, sa mga, hindi na tapos, sa mga research sa schedule, so, Vincent, better comments, may email. Pero yun, no, yung parang the problem I identify is yun nga, they're too recognizable. They're not imagined. Gusto ko din dagdagan yung susulat yung point ni yung Jen na yun yung medyo problematic nga yung pag-dichotomize ng technology, focus, etc. On one hand, backward, etc. Vis-a-vis technology, reason, etc. on the other. Kasi, especially for Filipino writers, that kind of reasoning has been used against us. Yung talk about Filipino people portrayed as savages, barbarian people, etc. So, medyo I'd be very careful in terms of utilizing that. No, interesting yung paggamit, for instance, dun sa, first of all, bakit siya Tagalog? Kung meron siyang anti-Manila, anti-imperial Manila politics, no? Bakit siya Tagalog? Baka extra literary matter na to. Pero to me, that's I'm interested to know. Okay.
With most of I can agree that somehow you can actually more or less do without. Pero, there are also other things. Number one na napansin ko with this one is information overload siya. I kind of had a difficulty reading, not just because it was in Filipino, sanay ako na nagbabasa ng English. Aside pa dun sa the language, yun nga, yung information overload. There are things that are overly explained, tapos merong mga bagay na like little, you kind of forgot yung little details, kaya yung sabi ni Eric na, anong klaseng sasakyan na yan? What is different with these cars? How did you get from one point to the other? Using this vehicle, there are things that are very explained, while other tiny details that seem to have been forgotten. Na these tiny things could actually help them for your readers to actually understand your narrative more than this explanation of you certain things that pinaliwanag ko.
DJ siguro may sabi.
Tungkol dun sa information na ginamit, naalala ko yung kung paano sinimulan yung Janus Silang. Kasi ipiniliwanag mo na doon kung ano yung mechanics ng laro. So, maraming information din doon. Pero, pagdating dun sa sumunod na mga chapters, mas binuo yung kwento. Pero dito kasi dun sa manuscript, parang hinahanap ko pa yung pinakakwento talaga ng nobela. Parang, yun nga, puro information lang.
Generate.
Last.
Kailangan na.
Kaya I think magandang kasi ito po workshop talaga. No? Kasi meron siyang potential, at the same time marami po yung kailangan rin in terms of craftsmanship. Yung una, gusto kong i-note, positive note no, na may energy ang manuscript. So, there's energy. And I like that. No? Pero dahil na puno-puno ng energy at this point, and I hope ma-continue, pero kailangan na ng yung pagsisinsin, no? Pag-inis. Kasi yung mga, I think, nabanggit ni DJ, yun yung kasi notes pa lang actually siya. No? Notes pa lang siya, hindi pa siya na-craft. So, hindi pa siya naging cohesive, hindi pa siya napasok, no? Ano yung mga technique dyan, DJ, pwede na ba yung dialogue, narration, description, hindi kailang literal na i-describe, di ba? Naisip ko, nabanggit ni Glenn kanina, yung lingwahe. Ito kasi, primarily Tagalog pa rin, no? Pwede i-explore, EJ, yung paano yung mga Cebuano nagsasalita ng Tagalog, no? And that would be very interesting. Ang language mismo, ilang ito yung the future, di ba? And kung tingnan mo, yan naman tayo patutungo. So, yung lahat ng elemento bilang integral and nag-weave, no, para ma-advance yung the sci-fi agenda mo na kung gusto mo pursue. Maganda rin yung, pwede naman kapag yun the fantastic and the science, kasi yun naman yung mundo natin. No? Marami nang nagawa niya. Kaya naisip ko, actually maganda yung novela ni Sir Philip na yung The Great Philippine Jungle Energy Cafe. Pwede mong basahin yun. Yun yung paborito kong work ni Sir Philip. Pwede mo tingnan yung ang sandali na mga mata ni Alvin Yapan para matingnan mo yung yung narrative design at saka yung pagbubuo ng mundo talaga. Yung banal na aklat ng Makumag ni Alan de Reen. And recently, no, you can look at the work ni Eka Kurniawan, isang Indonesian, na siya yung nagiging sikat ngayon, no? Bilis-bilis nila ma-translate sa English. Yung Beauty is a Wound, no? Kasi na, I think napakalapit sa atin and tingin ko yung gusto mong maging direction patok doon. So marami kang matukuhang method or techniques doon. No? Si Eka Kurniawan, ma-download PDF online. Yun sa tingin ko basic pa rin eh. You have to decide ano talaga yung main, no, theme mo or ano talaga yung kwento mo. Babalik doon. Kasi lahat ito background pa lang, no? Hindi pa fully na flesh out. Halimbawa yung kaya in terms of tone deaf pa siya eh. Hindi mo maramdaman kung di ba katatakot ka or kanino ka magro-root, no? Hindi ko ba nakita physically Pwede naman yun na intentional, pero hindi natin nakikita na intentional, na resulta siya ng craft, hindi pa. No? Talaga nakita natin na sketches pa lang ito. Pero okay lang yun kasi na lahat naman proseso, AJ. No? Pero I like the energy and pala yun.
Point out din na parang sa, at least in the Philippine context, wala na talagang science fiction genealogy, if you will. No? Precisely because wala ka ng science culture sa bansa. I mean, other than yung academe or first world hospitals na, in other words, ginagamit pa yung science to discriminate the classes. So, kung mayaman ka, marami kang options for your cancer, mahirap ka, then natanin ang buhay mo. So, kasi wala kang access to the treatments, no? That all cost money. So, I don't think it's really the way to go eh. Kasi magiging topical lang talaga, kasi it's not ingrained. As a way of saying, yung pinuwait out ni Eric na yung Blade Runner, it's more of a philosophical question. Kaya kahit na napaka-approximate nung period, 2017, na natapos na, wala nung images, at yung sumunod ay less than 20 years again, yung wager niya, it's more of a philosophical question. No? The first one is, what does it mean to be human? Kasi yung cyborgs were more human than replicants were more human than humans. No? And things have not much changed. Corporate greed, ghettoization of Asians and producers of film, etc. And then the sequel naman is post-human humanity. Parang tinipod na yung question na wala talagang humans at this time, lahat tayo post-human because hindi na tayo traditionally nahulma as a kind of humanity in the classical sense. Ang humanity na natin picked up here from Facebook or from our own particular realities. Pero of course, world pa rin yun. In other words, parang gusto mong i-shift na lang, even science fiction will fall into the rubric of speculative fiction. Yun tulad nga ng Janus Silang, nasa realism plane, pero may mga janak at may mga pop culture reference, or yung kay Ricky Lee na yung aswang or mga manananggal in the city that fell in love with the fashion at nag-haunt that good manananggal na in love with the character. I think that is a way to go for a novel of this kind. Mas mag-speculate na lang at mag-go for yung ginamagin kanina ni Jen sa kanyang talk, a kind of worlding na mas may echo yung referencing natin. At yung, ano ba yung statement natin, yung thesis statement din natin early on of this novel. I think if you define that first, then you can sustain or you can move towards that trajectory rather than purposely to funding, I suppose, at yung nabanggit nga ni Jen na energy na nakikita niya na may potential pa nga, it needs to be streamlined. And we need to be streamlined to a kind of reading experience that is also something new, but it also comes from a particular kind of background, historical background ng reading sa Philippine literature. So it cannot just be something totally new. Kasi hindi wala pang successful, dinaisa na kayo successful Filipino novel, or even short story for that matter. Parang wala naman. So baka pwedeng rethink nga yung gano'n. In other words, simplify mo na lang. Parang binabagay dyan kanina, do more space work with your own kind of narrative trajectory or even narrative design rather than plunging immediately into it. Kaya nagiging mas accessory rather than telling the story. Ang point ng novel ay to tell a story in a longer story rather than a short story.
Yung gusto ko idagdag sa unay nung yung parang weird, yung parang yung gustong gawin na parang weird fiction, ano. At parang yung kahit ang weird fiction, kailangan nakasalalay yung weirdness niya doon sa I think the integrality ng tinatawag ni Roland the worlding, no? Now this is a fucking weird world, no? Pagka-baso pa namin, it's fucking weird, no? Nasabihin mo, no? Pag nakita mo. Kailangan, siyempre, pagka may ganong klaseng worlding na weird, you know, there must be something that, so strikingly different, you know, and transgressive, you know, dun sa text na yun. Kaya, ang tingin ko, the idea of being weird fiction doesn't mean that the novel doesn't have to be, must eschew in the integrality of elements, or even kanya consistency. You know, that anything can happen, no? Kumbaga, tapos pwedeng pasama-samahin ng halo-halo lahat. Even that must have a purpose. Must have a purpose with the weird project. You know? Otherwise, ang nangyari, masyadong lose yung collection, you know, of all these facts, all of these things that don't build up, you know, to a comprehensively weird situation. Kaya, yung iba sa pang aspect ng weird fiction siguro, ay yung it's usually very biocore, techno, ganyan, no? So, siyempre, may effort dito na parang may mga aswang, core, etc. Pero hindi na-integrate with the technological dystopian images, no? Like, kailangan mag-isipan pa kung paano yun. No? So, kung ang project ay weird fiction, kailangan pa rin, sa tingin ko, na may iisip tayo na consistent worlding. No? Otherwise, it would be so weird. It's just one thing, one there. Hindi mo ma-experience yung impact nung text. Ano? So, sorry gusto ko lang i-dagdagan yun. Pero yung tanong sinasabi ni Roland, interesting yan, parang, give up sci-fi. Ano ba? Do you agree with this sa atin, no? Dahil nga wala tayong, kumbaga, technological, scientific culture in general. You don't even have popular magazines like that explain science to ordinary people, no? But sa US, mga Scientific American, Popular Science, no? Dahil yan, no? Bahagi yan, kaugnay yan ng mga sci-fi at weird fiction. Binabasa yan ng mga writers. Sometimes even, amateur aficionados of certain kinds of sciences, no? Na, of course, Asimov himself was, deeply involved in thinking about science on the one hand, also fiction on the other. Pero ang punto dito sa Samuel Roland ay wala namang ganun, no? Sa Pilipinas. Wala namang popularization of science. Ayon nasa studies ng DepEd, hindi naiintindihan ng mga bata ang science. Ano? Kung exams pa lang pag-uusapan, lowest tayo sa buong daigdig. Diba? Sa lahat ng mga measures, diba? Math at science, tayo bagsak. Matay, mga Indonesia, Malaysia, matataas. And the basic reason was, ginagamit nila yung mga nila to teach science. No? Yan ang intindihan ng mga bata. Dito hindi naintindihan ng science at math. No? So, what is the future of sci-fi in this kind of society? No? Na hindi, so, tingin niyo ba, is that a correct proposition that he give up yung sci-fi angle? Or sci-fi is so difficult to integrate in Philippines?
It has to be scientifically informed. So, kapalipaniwala siya, convincing siya. It should be convincing and scientifically informed.
Isang aspect yun, siyempre sa lahat naman ng ating, it's not just sci-fi that he's doing, of course. It's a mix of genre, no, na hindi naman sci-fi. Pero kahit sa uso ko, pasok ko nga ng sci-fi, nandun yung usapin nga ng research, no? Kaya nga yung tanong nga, pero yung not just research, kasi I think ang pinupunta ni Roland dito is the mentality, is the sensibility behind this producing a sci-fi work. For example, many years ago, parang Ghost in the Shell, medyo bago, no? Only the Japanese could make this, no? It was strange, no? Kahit noon pa, di ba? Kahit ngayon, no? Hindi yung movie, yung Talagang ano, this is so strange. Only that, at the same time, it's also grotesque, no? Yung Ghost in the Shell. So other examples, there are many, of course. Pero yun nga, isip mo, what kind of society can produce this? Maybe Japan can produce this. No? And ang Pilipinas, what kind, if ever, what kind of science fiction could we produce? No? So it's not just the research, it's also a kind of sensibility that must be behind this kind of project. Right? And I think meron glimpses of this sensibility from this work. Inescapably, meron glimpses in this work.
I'm sorry. Kasi nanaya na nga ako, di ba? May nakalimutan pa talaga ako ilagay na context. Sorry, medyo matagal na nakapag-isang oras din kasi kami para lang namentong si DJ kasi malapit na siya magsalita eh. Nakalimutan ko ilang ilagay, kasama sa context nung weird fiction ni DJ is, kaya ang feeling ko rin kaya nagsastruggle yung karamihan sa fantasy to accept the premise of the two world building na kinakombine is yung in-explain niya sa akin kanina na the humans nag-advance yung technology. Pero yung concept niya ng mythology, yung mga aswang natin, yung mga other mythological creatures, remain the same. Yun yung part na, kaya yun yung pakisama sa context ng comment.
Alright, so, again, disclaimer, not having able to understand the whole manuscript, I can pick up on. It's just that science fiction as a whole has always been about more than just techno porn. It's not just about the flashy screens, the lights, the wires, and all that. All of that has always been at the service of a larger purpose. And it goes back, like, you look at the Time Machine and the Morlocks, Asimov and the robots during the industrialization period. Will robots take over, mankind? The Japanese were very, very heavily affected by the nuclear bombs, the atomic bombs, and the fear that came from that. 2040, the fear of communism and the impending Soviet threat. What's going to happen? So, and the Japanese have always been able to come up with those weird things because they've had that traumatic experience. And everybody in Japan grew up with those pictures of the boils, the atomic bomb, the radiation. So the grotesque and the deformities were part of their growing up. And then later on, because of sexual repression, they started to go into Sailor Moon and all that stuff. But so I guess it's always been, the point I'm trying to make has always been it's more than just techno porn, because science fiction nowadays has become kind of has regressed into that, Ready Player One. Hey, do you remember Nintendo? Do you remember King Kong? And the story itself is kind of just straightforward. But it's always been to ask the question, what does it mean to be human? What does it mean to be Filipino? What does aswang, the word aswang in 2116 mean? Were we the aswangs the whole time? That kind of question. And I think it got brought up in the story that this guy can see someone and immediately know their entire background. Is that right? Yeah, through technology. That raises all kinds of questions about privacy, cybersecurity. How would you feel if, people can look at you and then all this information pops up in your knowledge? And I don't know the rest of your story that might come up again. But those are very interesting questions from a Filipino context. The very Filipino fear of being homeless and being left behind, basically. And it's you can kind of see it, it's there. But maybe to explore it more and kind of do what the Japanese did, but without the sexual perversity.
Yung isang point na nabanggit niyo na tungkol dun sa, yan yung sabi mo nga yung parang in the end, the myths remain the same. Parang gano'n, no? So, yun nga yung isang nakita kong parang problema dito. Yung nasa plano siya, tapos na pinag-usapan ay dito sa Mindanao, nariyan yung mga religious cult, nandiyan yung mga Di ba, yung mga tumatakas dun sa ating technological na daigdig, nandyan. Ano ba yung mga nandun? Mga aswang, no, et cetera, no, ganyan, no? Mga cult, di ba, no? Parang ano eh, ang nawawala dito yung ideya na ang lahat ng mga bagay na ito ay kumbaga na-reproduce at na-integrate dun sa technological idiom ng mga panahon nila. For example, sa Japan, kamakailan, in-execute no, yung leader ng kanilang cult, di ba? Yung cult, yung nag-Sariga attack, no, di ba? Now, this is a cult with very ancient, let's say, Japanese idea, no, behind them. But they're technological. In fact, advanced technological. Kaya yung kanilang cult, integrated yung kumbaga hindi hiwalay. Kahit gano'ng ka humihiwalay dyan, kahit gano'ng ka-dudai ng iyong group, it still defines itself in relation to the dominant technological resources that exist. Let's look even at the Taliban, for example. Yung Taliban, ano yan eh, parang atheistic, no? Balik sa nakaraan. And yet they know how to deal with IT, how to work around all these surveillance mechanisms, how to engage in area war against advanced technological weapons, no, ng US, no? So, I mean, yung distinction between yung mga aswang tapos kasi sa island, yung mga hard cut, but they're so isolated and so separated. Parang it doesn't work that way, They also generated, ito mga new age na ito, they're generated by new technological state of a society. No, sa US, of course, ganun, no? So, yun yung tingin ko parang masyadong malaking distinction na they're outside and, this world has nothing or almost nothing to do with them.
And FYI lang, no, si Alan De Rey ng Ateneo, may scholarship na tungkol sa mga aswang ng tikbalang, yung may tiktik sa So, yung challenge din sa ganitong pagsusulat ay kailangan more or less na-survey mo talaga yung field, no? So, mag-pick up ka from there, i-advance mo na. So, kung inalabas mo ito, 2 or 3 years from now, and then, on one hand, meron namang advanced na scholarship na lumabas, hindi parang, di ba, bumalik tayo. So,
makikisarila ako ng konti. Ang gusto kong tubuhin yung isa sa mga una kong pinapansin sa kahit anong hugis ng pagsusulat mo, yung struktura, lalo na sa pagkikwento mo. May pagkabilib ako doon sa struktura na ginamit niya. No? Maraming kapansin na parang hindi ka nais-nais, pero parang obvious na there's an intelligence, authorial intelligence, that goes through the entire story. The story is not written haphazardly, pinag-isipan. Kung titignan mo, itong excerpt na ito, which I assume is the first chapter, Parang first chapter, so nakukuha natin agad yung pagka-intro ng character, parang it happens in 3 stages, Yung isa, she meets si Popoy, sa aeroplano. Pangalawa, nag-self-questioning siya, na maabang dialogo, habang nagsisigarino siya. Pangatlo, yung driver, yung si Calvong Julio. Tapos, ang next incident is, nakakita sila ng patay sa kalye. Fifth, yung presence ng mga UN soldiers, hanggang yung last, pumasok na siya sa Olvido Mall. There's a lot of intelligent aspects, where the structure abides by. Well, for one thing, yung Olvido, pagkalat ko sa Olvido is memory, or remembrance. Yun ang pinasok na sa ulit. Pero papansinin ko rin, parang mas titibay at lalakas yung narrative, kung may parang kailangan ng compression. despite the commendable structure, no, parang unang-una, the first dialogue no, that happens is you with a fellow passenger in the plane. No? Parang mahirap mangyari or well, nangyayari madalas. No? Pero hindi ganun kahaba yung usap eh. Lalo na itong sino ba to, si Popoy, ang sadsad, no? Haba ng salita niya, may isang section na, although I can feel, I can recognize that the author is putting parang more than plot points, no? It's Popoy who questions first the validity of the technology, no? By his own example of that lady na papasok sa kulto or something. Doon una na banggit yung aswang, no? Parang, what's the use of having a God, no? And what's the use of all this modern technology when we can always fall back on the old myths, no? Which establishes the first leitmotif of the novel, I think. And which is reinforced, again, by si Julio naman, yung driver, also questions technology by saying na mas okay pa rin yung manual na van niya, no? Kasi he's familiar with roads, no? He doesn't need computers. Yeah. So there's this effort by the author to range, no, parang the pros and cons of scientific advancement, no, as against the old ways, the old beliefs, no. On the other hand, I feel there are some spotty areas where the dialogue by Popoy is too long. No? That self-reflection by this central character is also, it's much longer than one cigarette. No? If she smoked the pack, no? I mean, bumili lang doon. Ang haba ng questioning ng sarili niya, which could have been, pwedeng mabuod eh. Kuha mo na yung kuha mo na yung, maganda yung sinabi niya, parang it verifies or affirms one intriguing item that you mentioned earlier, where nung, di ba, pina-research niya yung si Madalda na Popoy, nakuha niya na 78% may pagnanasa ng city siya, no? And then parang she pitied him, and later on we learned why. Because she was born parang in vitro or something, she's asexual, no? By the design of her parents, no? But you get that already, so habaan ako sa monologue na yun, no? Mas bumibilis pa nga doon kay Julio. And then the other elements that I question are minor, no? Yung one is the mention of yung GMO crops. 2016 na, I think by then, this would have been resolved already. Over a century, ngayon pa lang malapit nang ma-resolve yan eh. So may mga gano'n na maliliit na bagay. No? But I admire the intent, no? Dun sa, in the structuring and putting out the more than plot point, it's really motifs that you're hoping the author will be dwelling on further in more detail in future chapters. Except I urge na parang drastic compression in certain parts. No? That's all. That's my comment on it.
Pero po bawal na. Ito, si Pili yata, meron pang sabihin. Yung pa, isang point ay siguro para mag-oras, no? Ay maliban doon sa yung pinapalagay ko na kailangan integral yung technique. Kung papasok na rin lang natin yung science fiction o yung science, kailangan integral yan doon sa pagkabon ng kwento. Parang character, no? May papel na ginagampanan. Kaya isa pa yung gano'n ka-integral yung kanyang technological world, no? Na binubuo dito sa how they fit with each other, no? Ngayon, given naman na talaga naman sa technology, science, may uneven development, no? Hindi naman pantay-pantay ang paglaganap, no, ng teknolohiya. May mga lugar na mas mataas ang taas ng teknolohiya, may mga lugar na humahabol pa lamang, may mga iba na hindi pa nakahabol dun sa teknolohiya na yun. Pero siguro, yung napapansin ko ay may problema yung modelo. Pagkamat sinabi ko kanina na parang nag-eclipse ko na ito yung isang type of sensitivity na pwedeng pagsimula ng isang sci-fi na Pinoy. Halimbawa, doon sa kanyang discussion, no, basically, ang lumilitaw na ay surveillance regime, no? Big data, no? May mga drones, no? May mga cloud, no? Data cloud, doon nakalagay yung mga data ng mga tao. Nandun na nga yung face recognition software, at iba pa, no? Let's say, even in a more advanced level than today. Of course, today, medyo advanced na rin, no? Ang ganyan mga aspect. Aside from itong ganitong klaseng parang technological surveillance society, ay makita mo rin yung manipulation ng genetic material, no? ng tao. Also, human augmentation in terms of adding mga, let's say, mga bionic cybernetic parts. No? Ngayon, so, parang ngayon, sabihin natin, we imagine this world, no? Pero ang weird, kasi suddenly, sa ibang part, biglang may problema sa Wi-Fi. May malakas na nahinang Wi-Fi, no? Siguro, assuming natin na, kasi this person, meron siyang embedded or implanted computer chip. That's part of yung human augmentation. Now, it's not far-fetched to think na ito would have a certain, ability to connect to the web, di ba? Kahit walang Wi-Fi, no? So, parang may current problem sa kanya na nangyayang Wi-Fi dito, no? Gano'n. Pero yung implanted na nga yung kanya, parang although you might say, I just want to be weird, Pero, halimbawa, isa pa, she needs a wireless headset. Now, why would you need a wireless headset if it's already in there, no? Now, why would you even need a virtual keyboard when it's already there, no? Yung physicality, no? Now these things, parang merong some kind of inconsistency sa kanyang technological worlding, no? Tapos sinasabi yung inyong AI, yung kanyang accent, English, di ba? Pero that's why kayo nag-grab ngayon, yung kanilang mga ways, Tagalog na Tagalog na masalita. They've already overcome. It's very simple matter to overcome voice synthesis na umaangkop na doon sa particular society. Not just, but that already solved yung voice synthesis problem today. Search engines, etc. May mga iba pa, GMO na nabanggit kanina, GMO versus organic, parang anachronistic, no? Yung ganong klaseng problem. Ngayon, yung isa pa ay yung mahalika na aspect na tayo yung parang main producer ng entertainment sa daigdig. Diba, parang gano'n lang, kalaban natin ay Hollywood. Ngayon, and parang this is sort of connected with our being a backwater, a technological backwater. Okay, but I don't think that really holds. Kasi one of the drivers of technological innovation is Hollywood. You can't even make films without all these computers. And in this kind of technological development, Hollywood entertainment is highly connected also with the military industrial complex. Now, naka-merge na yan. Halos yung drone technology is connected with virtual experience, virtual camera, imaging, etc. So, parang hirap yan tayo yung number one na provide ng entertainment. That's a driver of technological advance, And as we see with the US, in US, they have only two big imports. Diba, naman yan, one big import is weapons, the other is entertainment. Diba? And they're closely connected technologically. No? So, ngayon yung isang aspect ng uneven development na parang sa akin problematic ay halimbawa, okay, maliban doon sa Wi-Fi na implanted. Halimbawa, may meron kang mga self-driving cars, diba? Smart vehicles. Tapos meron kang mga regular vehicles. Yung self-driving cars, they run on solar power and also more advanced. Ngayon, yung self-driving, they run on fossil fuel. Ngayon, ang isang katangian kasi ng innovation, if you want to study how yung mga legacy or older technologies relate to more advanced ones, hindi sila pwede mag-exist in isolation from each other. For example, sa backwaters, so-called technological backwaters ba? Ang kanilang mga telepono ba, hindi nag-reading pa rin na igaganyan mo, na ganyan-ganyan, no? Yung dati. Hindi, no? Yung mga, wala mga MP3 players, mga plaka ba ginagamit nila? Hindi. Because in the end, having this phone system, having fossil fuel, and having these record players are more expensive, no? Than the cheap versions of the advanced technology. So what would they have? They would have cheap rip-offs ng iPhone or some other technology. What would they have? They would have cheap and undependable implanted computers in their brain, made in somewhere. Made somewhere, no? So yung mga body augmentation nila, it would be cheaper versions of the one for them. No? So yung so-called inequality in technology is also affected. Yung technology penetrates. It's not necessarily old technology kasi bagong technology, etc. Nagkakaroon ng internal hierarchization yung technology na yan. Halimbawa, yung body organs, no? Makagawa ng synthetic organs, right? Diba? Kaya yung body organs, pangmayaman na ngayon, pamilyonaryo, yung magnanakaw ka ng organs, you buy these organs in the organ market, no? Somewhere, pamilyonaryo, pangmayaman na. That's very illegal. It is hard to engage in this business. Hey, do you think this would be cheaper in 2,100? It would be even more expensive than synthetic organs. Still continuing yung body. Yung pagnakaw ng mga tao, yung pagkuha ng mga tao, pagkuha ng organ, tapos sila. And given yung survey na society na sinasabi natin, it's so dangerous to pick up people and to throw them out of your vehicle after you get organs. No? At ayun rin yung mag-detect and mahuli. No? So if you're talking about a surveillance society, it doesn't seem to work in this kind of kahit pa gano'n ka-primitive kunyari ang Mindanao, as you show. Pero yung punto ay nandun kayo sa satellite, no? Observing what's happening. Nandun pa ang UN. The UN Defense Force. So, parang hindi plausible that there will be this kind of operation done in severely not technological ways, no? That can still escape surveillance. Kaya yung relationship of old technology to new technology, kaya ito isipan, no? Hindi natin yung old technology na parang yan, yung pamahirap, yung dating technology, yung pamayaman ito. No? It doesn't work that way, Usually, may ibang classic types of technology dissemination and how it penetrates and seeps into the social fabric of society at all possible levels. No? Yun na yung sinabi na rin tungkol sa mga New Age things at kaya sa mga kulto ng aswang, they could even be technological in a certain way. Ngayon yung nabanggit mo tungkol sa mga, lalo na yung pinaka-backward sa iyo, yung mga Muslim, I think that's potentially a problem, na hindi sila nakaka-organ transplant because they don't believe in it, but they cannot religiously compatible. Hindi naman totoo yun, no? Ang mga Muslim is pwede mag-organ transplant, And the prospect is, in the 21st century, mas magiging technological advance ng Indonesia at Malaysia sa Pilipinas. And they're both Islamic countries, no? Far more technologically advanced than we are. No? So, parang yung ganong klaseng you have to imagine, and imagine in a way that with greater worlding, with a better more consistent world, it will be even more shocking itong kwento mo, ano? So, ayun, so ang tingin ko ay, aside from yung integrality of sci-fi into your story itself, kailangan integral din yung sci-fi world na. Integral din yan, and how it connects with yung other worlds, like this, yung mga aswang, how they work together. Pero yun nga, sabi, yung dito ay nakikita ko na nga kung paano yung posibilidad na ito'y maging isang successful, no? Possibly successful sci-fi project, no? With, of course, not just sci-fi, mix of genre na pwede mong paglaruan. No? So, siguro dahil 5 minutes na naman sila, panahon na ni Jay na mag-verse. Okay na ba yan?
Gusto pagkita niya sana na pagitan, no? No matter, okay, third person point of view, and there's a central intelligence, yung bida, no? Laging siya nando sa eksena. No? It's very important to establish immediately yung characterization. No? I hope it doesn't occur as it does in the first character that you actually introduced, yung si Popoy, which I mentioned was, apart from having such a lot of dialogue in this part, no? Meron isang part dito, page 120. Third paragraph. Nagsasalita siya, nangihinayin ako sa kanya. Hindi mabenta sa akin ang basurang Diyos-Diyosan at banal. Okay yung dialogue niya, simple-simple, no? Saka, kuha ka agad yung bukod kung sinasabi, no? Yung technology versus yung Diyos-Diyosan ng banal. Second line, dahil sa panahon ngayon, buhat sa mga bagong teknolohiya, marami itong kayang gawin posible. Okay ko rin yung simple. But then, this next line, ang i-convert sa anyong digital consciousness para i-upload sa internet, sa Android, all of that, all the way until the next one, pag-enhance, parang he becomes a spokesman for the central intelligence of the data. I don't get it more, parang you have to be careful with the dialogue conducted by any character, especially in a novel where there are a lot of characters. It's preferable and ideal, of course, if each character speaks in his or her own style of language, the use of idioms and everything. But you can't, you have to avoid diffusing the characterization by transferring one aspect of language from one character to another, especially from the central intelligence. I don't know. That's just my view, and it's not necessarily one. You can argue against it, but I find that particular passage is really not the voice of Popoy. Parang he becomes a ventriloquist, voicing out something that would better have been said by the central intelligence. Yun lang.
Yung for me, last na ako naalala na point na yung usapin ng yung nasa entertainment industry siya, tapos ang trabaho niya, yung very premise of your story. Pupunta sa Mindanao para magkaroon ng bagong kwento, di ba? Na gagawin nilang best-selling, drama ulit. Ngayon, would you even think of the possibility na yung premise na yan ay wala na dahil pwedeng i-generate artificially through computers ang mga screenplay, novels, everything, na ganyan klaseng industry, that they would not even write it, not just get everything from information from the AI nila, not just operates on the what information available sa web, na marami, and generates screenplay after screenplay after screenplay according to the desires of the viewers, at any moment. Ngayon, posible na yan to a certain extent. Sabi nga sa pag-iisipan, sabi na, theoretically, 95% of our journal articles can be written by computers now. So, ano pa yung nagwala ng journal articles, Pwede na automatically generated. And may experiment here. automatic generation of these things based on what viewers expect or want. Kaya yung the very premise, no, baka ma-question din yung premise na pag-computer sabihin, why do you have to risk your life? You can just run this in the computer and you can stay here. No? We have a good story. Everyone will like it to sell. Diba?
Thank you for mga followers. Katulad ng sinabi ko kay Goldie na natapos ko isulat ng 2017, we need fresh eyes para i-revise ito work na ito. Ayun ito. Kasi parang nahihirapan akong paano nga talaga itong maging readable. Maganda yung inputs na consider ko. Ako na bahala mag-ignore ko. And meron nagtanong kanina, para maaga yung tanong kanina na what happened to Old Manila. Yung problema lang yung sinunod kong excerpt dito is meron ako yung ang reason bakit 2116 siya kasi yung part na ni Calmongolio at saka yung main character is yung punto is ano yung nag-experience ng mga Bisaya na Pilipino nung starting from the 2040s to the 2100s kasi na-mention naman siya sa outline ng Civil War nangyari, ganun. Yun lang yung parang kibali justification kung bakit set mo 100 years from now kasi yung progression ng history pinaparallel ko sa history ng nakaraan. Tapos may tanong pa na yung ma-change na yun doon sa kasi yun yung mali sa akin bakit ko tinanggal doon sa excerpt ito yung part yun kasi kung hindi ko tinanggal yun magiging 20,000 words yung script. At saka, kasi gusto ko rin malaman pag i-omit ko yun, ano kaya reception sa mga basa. Kasi in trying to, gusto ko rin kasi na yung, para yung word building, gusto ko na i-distribute in-invest sa narrative na parang, ano lang yung, parang pati-tingi, parang maging homogeneous na sa yung parang, at one point, meron na explanation sa word na ito, pero hindi masyadong put up. Pero yun na nga, nilay ko na kung itanggalin ko dito na part mo kaya reception na so, mayroon maraming so, alam ko na kung paano ko ito i-realize ulit. Pero yun na nga, yung quote ko rin doon kasi sa amin, wala kasi hindi basa ng novela. So, pag pagbabasa ko ito, kung yung problema, sabihin na, okay. Tsaka yung mga kasama kong mga writers kasi, puro mga poet kasi, ay hindi basa na ganito kapag yung mga novela. So, naghanap ako na, sino ba babasa nito?
Congratulations, dito po nagkaroon